Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing great still. In the next few minutes, I'll do a quick, or I'll just give you my view on the whole crypto market and what I think is most likely going to happen. Before doing that, however, I do want to tell you that this is pure prediction and it is not based on nothing, but there are a lot of possible things that could happen in the whole crypto market and to Bitcoin in the upcoming months. This is just one explanation. If you look at other videos, they'll have other technical indicators and ideas and theories about the market. I'm generally of the school of Benjamin Cohen. He is more like the lengthening cycle, so that the first Bitcoin cycle was very steep and very short actually. Second one was also steep relatively if you compare it with other assets, but it took a little longer. So the bull market was a little longer, and then you see the linearity of that. It just becomes longer and less steep. So you could argue that this is still quite steep. By the way, we're looking at the Bitcoin against the US dollar, the whole index. So dating all the way back to its almost its inception to 2010. So what that would mean is that right now we're actually holding out in that bull market for quite a long time, and it would also mean that we are still going for the top because it's lengthening and it will take longer before we get there. At the weekly it looks very steep. If you go into the daily, it already becomes less steep and it looks more like a slow bull trend with some consolidations in between. We're going to be looking at the weekly because I want to be able to predict the whole trend of Bitcoin and with it the whole crypto market, because they are very much correlated for a little bit longer time frame. So I found something interesting which I wanted to tell you, and that involves some time frames, key levels, wow, and the 50 EMA. So that's the red one. I tested 4 EMAs. These are the EMAs I mostly use for analysis, and I wanted to use this 50 because I saw something interesting with it. So that's a 50 period EMA. I think it's based upon the closing candle. Candle close. And what happened, because I want to compare what is happening right now with Bitcoin and the whole crypto market with what happened at the middle of May up until the beginning of August. So what we saw is that the price dropped down. It broke the 28 EMA, and then it didn't find resistance at the red EMA, but the price did not close below it, and you can actually see some interaction coming off of it, and it's kind of serving like support for at least the whole candles. And then the wicks of the candles are supported by the strong key level below it, which is, I mean, you could have already known about that key level earlier. So here you can see, took a break retest off of it, and there it found real support. And then at the end, the 50 EMA broke, but it was kind of like a fake breakout, because again, it found resistance at in this case, around the 30,000 support level. So I think that's important to understand, and the time frame it did that in is the middle of May up until the beginning of August. So how many months is that? 2.5. Yeah. And what's also interesting is that from the FIP right here, it retested to the 382, but dropped down all the way to its lowest point in quite a long time, to 29,000. So what we're going to do is compare what happened there precisely with what is happening right now, and it is showing some similarities with the beginning, because again what we did is we dropped down through the 28 EMA, we kind of retested off of it. I mean, that's quite interesting to see. We also did that right here, or at least in the area we did that. But before that we dropped down even through the 50 EMA, which we did here as well, so that is as predicted basically. And what we're in right now basically. I just adjusted the key level. What we're in right now, I think, is that we will see movements such as these. So that some wicks might find enough support at the 50 EMA, but that eventually the price could drop down through the region of 41,000 up until 43,250 to be precise. And I think this region will serve the same function as this region, so that the price eventually will hold that area. So again, I just wanted to highlight that now throughout the whole video. Try to do that, but now is, I think, an important moment. This is just my opinion. This is what seems most likely to me. Obviously there are a lot of possibilities, each with their own probabilities, but I think this is the most likely. So what that would also imply is that we will break down lower than what we have broken down to just yet. We broke down to somewhere around 43,000. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this we would break down all the way to 40,000. So I think that is quite likely to happen in the upcoming weeks and months. And what that would also imply, if we stick to the same timeline as the other small bear market, is that the beginning of February, as you can see right here, we broke the 28 EMA at the end of July, so at the last point of this rectangle, which would be the week of the 7th of February. And it would mean that then we would not necessarily start the bull market, but then we would at least break the 28 EMA. And what happened after that, this year, was something like this. So if I'm allowed to draw it a little bit, so let's say here it still drops down at the end of it. So first week of February, or the second actually, it broke through the 28 EMA, which went down a little bit. So we can assume it was right there. And from there, what you can see right here is that it broke, then eventually retested to the area it found support at or resistance at, while it was dropped through the 28 EMA, if you could still follow me. So that would mean we would get something like this as a break retest, and from there I actually think we can make new all-time highs, but that would be in March, April, May. So that's basically my prediction on what is going to happen with Bitcoin against the US dollar, if at least we can compare these time frames. And again, just want to emphasize it, this is my opinion. There are a lot of possibilities, and I'm just trying to give you some idea of what could happen. One more thing I want to add is about this FIB. As I said earlier, here it retraced to the 382. If that were also to happen with the price of Bitcoin, that would mean that we would actually see somewhere in the upcoming weeks a surge up to around 40 or 53,000. So that might be a good thing. As I said, it doesn't necessarily have to go down like this, but be aware that a surge that high doesn't necessarily mean that we are going into the bull run again. So yeah, that's basically my analysis on the whole crypto market and Bitcoin for the upcoming, well, weeks and months basically. In my opinion, this is quite likely, or I mean quite likely. I think it's a scenario that could play out. I wouldn't place it above 50% to play out, but still I think it's interesting, and I think the situation we are in right now actually shows some similarities. So that's basically this video. If you have any questions about the analysis, because some things might have gone a little bit too fast and I'm not the best at explaining these things, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll make sure to explain everything you need more explanation on down there. And as for now, thank you all for watching and listening, and I hope to see you all in my next videos. Bye.